Hi, I'm the academic astrologer, and I'm here to talk to you today about Mars on the descendant. My natal chart, I was born with Mars in my seventh house on the descendant line. So when I grew up, I was right there next to my Mars descendant line. And looking back, I can totally see how this played out in my life. When I was growing up, I did have a best friend that lived across the street, and she was so sweet. And I remember she one time invited us to a birthday party, and it was like her and her two best friends. And I remember I was like so jealous of the other best friend, and because I wanted to have her like it just be us two, and so it was like this competition with the other best friend. But at any rate, it was nice that she was my friend. But then I ended up going to this private school that was like 30 minutes from my house on the other side of town. And we moved to starting to go to church there. We went to school there. And I kind of lost touch with that best friend that I had. So the school church environment was very, very insular. There wasn't a lot of people in the church. So there was four girls that were one grade above me. There wasn't really a lot of girls that were in my grade, but there was these four girls that were a year ahead of me, and they were called the Fearsome Foursome. And you can probably see where this is heading. So these girls, they were like a clique, and they had grown up together, and I just wasn't a part of that clique. Like, I just was never going to break in. I would try to break in, and I just couldn't. Like, they just didn't like me. Their parents didn't like me. Like, and I don't think they liked my parents, and it was just like I was an outcast. And so this was the way I grew up, is that being an outcast. I didn't really have a lot of friends, and they were kind of mean to me. So one time we went on a field trip, and I guess during that time I would get car sick. And so we were in this van with all these people, and then I started getting car sick, and apparently I threw up on the pastor's daughter, and she was one of the Fearsome Foursome. So I'm sure that didn't help things. And I remember I would try to participate in the church band, and like they kind of didn't like us, and I didn't get any favors for sure. Like, I was a really good singer, but they didn't really want me to sing. But I would kind of like get to play oboe in the background or something. I played piano. They didn't like me playing piano either. So I was kind of an outcast a little bit there. And I remember like all the other girls got the solos or whatever. I went on to actually be a music ed major, focusing in voice. So, I mean, I have a pretty decent voice, but they were like, I'd never get the solos or anything like that. So I grew up thinking that just that's the way it's going to be. Like, people just aren't going to like me. And unfortunately, since that was a very important part of growing up, is that Mars descendant influence, I just thought people just aren't going to like me. And, now I'm coming to see that may not quite always be true. Now I've moved around, I've moved to different parts, and sometimes people actually do like me. So it's kind of an interesting experience. My husband is now on his Mars descendant. He also has Mars on his seventh house. And he's also, we're somewhat close to where he grew up, and he also has that Mars descendant line, and he feels like people are just constantly mean to him. Like, he tries to be friendly, he tries to be nice, and they're just constantly mean back to him. So that's my experience in regards to the Mars descendant line. I'm the academic astrologer, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you.